Brian Howden, who is videoing this event, came from Los Angeles to video this event for us. And I think it took him a shorter time to get to Manchester from Los Angeles than it did for Brian to come from South London. Yeah? So, I'd like to welcome you to Manchester. This seminar is being held in the 70th anniversary year of the first British test, Operation Hurricane, and the 60th anniversary of Operation Dominic. As I said before, the seminar has been filmed by Mr. Brian Howden, who's travelled from Los Angeles, and is being live streamed across the world via Facebook. You should all have had a pack by now and a guide which will contain the bios of our speakers and our panel members. We have some more people logging in remotely, and unfortunately because of the weather, we've lost a couple of people due to flights being cancelled. But we are still observing some COVID rules, so in your pack we've provided you with some tissues. And the touch points are being wiped down by my sister, Laura, in between each session. So if you could wear your badges and lanyards at all times, just so that the hotel knows that you're part of this event. A couple of housekeeping things. The fire exits are in each corner. There are no fire drills today, so if the fire alarm does go off, obviously we will need to make our way out that way and out to the front. We have a packed agenda for you today. So this is our agenda for the day. The seminar is split into 4 sessions. We're obviously here straight at the introduction now. We have messages, support and updates from around the world. A veterans discussion this morning. And this afternoon we move on to the wives and widows discussion, and then a descendants discussion. We'll then close with a very special guest who's going to appear. And for those who are staying tonight, just have an informal meal where we can just sit and relax and chill and talk about the day and everything else that's been going on. So I'd now like to welcome you all, but especially the Lord Mayor and Mayoress of the City of Manchester. The Lord Mayor, Councillor Tommy Judge, is now going to open this seminar.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Ladies and gentlemen, it is my privilege to be asked to open this seminar here in Manchester, which is being live streamed across the world, so there's no pressure on me here. Manchester is proud to host this event. We were the first city in the world to declare ourselves nuclear-free Manchester. And Manchester has the distinction of being an executive and vice-presidential city of Mayors for Peace. An international organisation of over 8,000 mayors in over 160 nations who campaign for a nuclear weapons-free world. As Manchester's Lord Mayor, I have the honour to also serve as one of the Vice Presidents of Mayors for Peace, and in both capacities I welcome you all to our city. 2022 is the 70th anniversary of the first ever nuclear test on the 3rd of October 1952 at the Montebello Islands in Western Australia. It is also the 60th anniversary of Operation Dominic, which took place in 1962 on Christmas Island in the Pacific. It is extremely important that the world does not forget the testing programme and the effect it has had on the world, not just the veterans and their families, but the indigenous people of Australia, Christmas Island, the Marshall Islands, French Polynesia, Russia and the Nevada Desert. We must never forget that the world has seen the devastation caused by nuclear weapons in Hiroshima and Nagasaki, and we hope the world will never see them used in war again. We will today hear from speakers across the world, Australia, Japan, the United States, testimonies of the effect of the nuclear testing programme and the devastating effect on the families involved. Britain now stands alone as the only testing country not to formally recognise the nuclear veterans or to issue nuclear veterans a medal. Shameful. In 2021, France awarded a medal to their nuclear veterans. President Biden officially recognised the US atomic veterans in December, and you will hear today how these veterans, their wives and their children and grandchildren have been affected by the testing programme, and how they have campaigned for recognition and justice for over 70 years. Just put in 70 years. The Treaty on the Prohibition of Nuclear Weapons is now an international law, but the UK and other countries with tested nuclear weapons refuse to sign the treaty, or even send an observer to discuss the treaty, which provides assistance to the victims of nuclear testing. You will hear from ICANN on their campaign. After listening to these testimonies, how the testing programme has impacted communities, you will realise that the testing programme had an effect on the whole world. It affects every one of us, and we must do everything we can to ensure the UK recognises the veterans and their families. 70 years. 70 years is too long to wait for the participants of Operation Dominique. And I know that Alan's father was one, and Eric Barton, who is here today, is also present. The United States government pays out compensation as part of the RECA programme. If a veteran develops a cancer, which is on the list of approved diseases, I don't know what an approved disease is. The veteran, all their families if the veteran is deceased receive $75,000 in a lump sum because of the damage caused by the participation in the test. Yet despite this ruling, the UK still refuses to acknowledge that UK personnel were present on the same islands performing the same test 4 and 5 years before. We must bring the world together to recognise the nuclear testing programme. 9 countries have tested nuclear weapons with over 2,000 detonations worldwide. Britain performed 600 minor trial tests in Mar-a-Lago, exploding plutonium in the desert. I understand that Steve Pearce, who is a descendant, is here today, whose father was present when these trials, and we'll be discussing it later. The veterans present here today have seen the nuclear explosion. They have seen the mushroom cloud. They have felt the heat and the blast. And then some of them were ordered to clean up the mess that the test had caused. They deserve recognition for their service. Without them, we would not have a nuclear deterrent. Many of these servicemen were national service. They did not have a choice, but we do. We can choose to formally recognise them. This seminar will show the world that after 70 years, the effects are still being felt today. We all must play our part to ensure that no one should ever see a nuclear explosion ever again. No one should feel the blast and the heat. And 70 years is far too long to wait for justice. Please enjoy the seminar and thank you for inviting me. Thank you very much.